Hello.
Hey.
So we have James here.
Who's James?
Right here.
Right here? Okay.
He is he works in our deli department.
Okay.
And we found out that he's just been taking like orders of chicken and fruit cups and stuff like that off the store
For 110?
Yep.
All right. Go ahead and stand up for me.
Okay.
All right. Just go ahead and put your hand on the wall for me. I'm just gonna take everything out. We'll get it with you. Then I can stay here with them.
Yeah.
All right.
Put everything else.
Anything in your shoes or anything like that?
Nope.
Go ahead and put your hand behind your back. Okay. You can put your palms together and drop that. Put your palms together. Palms together. Palms.
Okay, y'all. I don't know if you're as mad about this as I am. This thing has been boiling my blood this whole week. Excuse my rinky dinky t-shirt. I'm on my day off. I'm chilling. But I had to get this out. This has been on my mind like all week and has nothing to do with combat sports like I usually cover or anything like, pop culture wise. This is the case with the I'm pretty sure y'all heard with the Meijer deli or no, the Meijer grocery store or something. I don't know how to pronounce it. Meijer, the grocery store. They fired like a 19-year-old kid. I still consider him a kid. For taking like $100 worth of food and not just fired him, but they got him arrested. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen that like on X and Instagram and everywhere. And I had such a huge problem with it, especially at first when we thought it was like a 16-year-old autistic kid. Turns out that's not the case, or at least we don't have any. He's not 16, he's 19. We don't have any proof that he was autistic, and we don't have any proof that there was any type of scheme to go against him or something. And apparently there was no investigation, allegedly. So there's a lot of like mixed up info with this. I went on Snopes to like figure out the facts before I came on here and started blurting out things that weren't true. But even with the revised facts that he's 19, he's probably not autistic. There's no proof that he ate discarded food like they claimed. The facts kind of change it a little bit, but not really. Not really. Here's the thing. He was working in the deli area of the grocery store. He's working his hours. He's given this $15.9 billion corporation his hard work. $15.9 billion, right? What they're worth. He was just literally hungry, just getting food, eating. Especially if he's eating on the job, he's not even taking that food home. You arrested that man for eating food on the job that he works in, food that he's probably preparing himself, and you're going to get him arrested before any warning was given to him. As far as I know, allegedly, there was no warning given to him. I don't know about a huge like investigation going on. Either way, like he wasn't really warned about this, that he wasn't supposed to be eating that. They kind of just watched it and let it happen and let it accumulate to like $100 worth of food so that they can arrest him and get him out of there. And like even the people like in the interrogation room, whatever, the office, you could see it in their face. They couldn't even look the guy in his eyes, yo. Like 19, for me, I'll be honest, when I was 19, I was still a child. I was still basically a grown high school kid. You know what I mean? So regardless if he was 16 or 19, I don't even think that really matters. It's still in the same ballpark range. And you're talking about someone that was working for your company, preparing your food for your customers, and this is how you do them. Now, the reason why I feel like, even though the facts were kind of skewed, the reason why I feel so adamant about talking about it is it's from my experience as working as a cook. Because currently, right now, I work as a cook at a homeless shelter. And I've had a bunch of cooking experiences throughout the years, different restaurants in the areas, even Five Guys. I think, well, Subway and Five Guys were my two first jobs. The Subway job lasted about like 2 weeks because I got like framed for stealing money from the register. I didn't take no money from the register either way. I was like 16 at the time. It's whatever. But my Five Guys job is where I started off at when I was 17. And, ever since then, I've had a bunch of restaurant experience and kitchen experience. And this one just hit me hard, because I've just felt, because I've never seen in any kit, I've worked in at least five or six kitchens throughout my life, five or six restaurants in my life. And I've never seen somebody arrested for eating food on the job. Like, there's even a Kitchen Nightmares episode, right? Where Gordon Ramsay catches somebody like stealing actual meat from the freezer and from the fridge in a walk-in. Like big, like chunks of meat, like big pounds of meat. And all they did was fire him. They just let him go. Mind you, he was a black guy, so I don't know if that had something. Maybe they felt some sympathy to not like go at him like this. And right now we're talking about like a 19-year-old white kid. I'll let y'all decipher that. I'll let y'all decide if that was a factor or not. But you can't really compare it anyway because it's like in different regions of America, you know? So, I don't know. But the thing is like I'll get into my experience soon and what I really think, but the thing is Meijer came out with a statement when it happened and said that we handled it wrong. They admitted that they handled it wrong and that there are new procedures put in place so that that doesn't happen again. They don't care about what they did to that man. They don't really care. They just put that out. They put that message out to make themselves look good as a company after all this bad publicity. Like horrible, horrible publicity. Like no matter what he stole, you could have just fired him. You had to go and ruin his life over chicken that he was preparing, that he was eating. Allegedly was going to be discarded. But even if it wasn't discarded or not, or if it was planning to be on discarded, kitchens and restaurants always have an amount of food that is absolutely going to be discarded if not sent to the shelter or sent to like like as a donation somewhere, you know. So the fact that like that he's preparing the food, you will arrest him for eating that food when you know that there's going to be a percentage of food that will be discarded regardless. It's incredible. It kind of sounds like Meijer doesn't give from what it sounds like they don't give free meals to their employees. And that was like one of the big things. It's like if they're giving free meals to the guy and he's still taking food that's not being discarded, there should be disciplinary action. Maybe even a suspension for a week or two. Like that's probably what Stop and Shop would have done, you know. But but no, no, no. They just escalated it straight to arrest. Like straight into bring the police officer. And even the officer was talking to the guy like talking to him like a normal person, not treating him like a criminal or evil villain or something. It's just really horrible that the officer, the one person in society that's like deemed uh as like an evil you know what I mean? Like evil authority over the population, represented in that officer. Like that officer, right? He's supposed to have the bad reputation as a police officer in America, whatever. But he was the one showing sympathy to the dude. He was showing sympathy to him while his employers were trying to arrest him over food. Now, I could keep on going and keep on ranting and telling you how messed up it is, yada yada. But here's what I really want to say. As someone that's worked in a lot of kitchens and a lot of restaurants, like we don't got to talk about if Meijer was wrong or not. They're dead wrong and they know it. And they know that publicity is going to hurt them for a long time. Like regardless of if the facts were skewed or not, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We still saw what we saw and what happened happened. You can't deny it. As someone that's worked in the kitchen in many kitchens for a long time as a line cook, as a prep cook, as like a second in command chef or whatever, catering for parties, bar mitzvahs, weddings, graduations, like all type of things, right? My advice as someone with that experience is, especially nowadays where the economy is messed up still, where, food costs is still higher. I mean, food costs isn't as bad as it used to be. Like corn isn't as expensive as it once was, which is okay. It should still be a lot cheaper. Like three ears of corn for $5 is way too much. It should be like $2 or $3. Either way, we're not in the best economy still. Still not in the best economy. So especially, and with jobs, there is job scarcity. So I'll give them that, you got to kind of take what you get if you're in that situation. But if you're someone with like experience as a cook, you know, even if you don't have experience, even if you're new to the game, I would advise you to never, I mean never work in a kitchen, a restaurant, deli, grocery store, anywhere that doesn't let you eat for free. If we're preparing the food, if we're helping y'all make money, we deserve a meal. You don't pay us a lot. Line cooks don't get paid a lot. Deli workers don't get paid a lot. Grocery store workers don't get paid a lot. Restaurant workers in general don't get paid a lot. If you're gonna like, especially in the kitchen, right? And the kitchen is one of those jobs, like you can look it up. Like the restaurant industry is like one of the least sought after jobs, you know, with a high turnover rate. There's more people work in retail and more people work in security than there is people working in a kitchen as cooks, as line cooks, prep cooks, dishwashers, anything. But but dishwashing jobs, line cook jobs, simple food jobs like that. There's a low barrier of entry, so that's like the double-edged sword about it, just because it's easy to get in, there's a reason that it's easy to get into a kitchen because nobody wants to work in there. A deli is the same thing, you got to slice meats, you got to deal with antsy customers, you got to, weigh out all the meat properly and give it to them, and then you got to prepare it all with a deli slicer. You might slice your finger off if you look the wrong way and don't pay attention for a quick second. You got to clean these machines. These are expensive machines that you got to maintain and handle, and you're getting paid like what? What was that 19-year-old getting paid with, like 15 an hour? Like literally, like he wasn't getting paid nothing over like 25,000 a year or even 30,000 a year. Like honestly, if you're not making at least 50,000 a year, you're not really making money. And that's coming from someone that's not really making money, you know, and someone that knows, the grinds of life, how much rent costs, how much bills cost, credit card payments, uh maybe loan reimbursement payments, like uh all these subscription services we pay for, like uh and then think about working in a deli or a kitchen, right? You gotta buy your chef's coat. You gotta buy the non flame, I mean the flame retardant pants. You gotta you gotta pay, for your uniform. You have to look the part, and you have to have the proper attire to work in a kitchen. Most of the time, they're not offering that. You might even have to buy your own apron, you know? But like either way, and say you mess up a knife, right? Say you mess up a knife, you like chip a knife or something. Like those are expensive knives. You're working with expensive materials, expensive equipment, and they're paying you like garbage. You should be allowed a meal. If and this is the advice. If you go to a kitchen, anybody, Gen Z, millennial, boomer, I don't care what generation you are, Gen Alpha, whatever, right? Oh well, nah, they're too young to work. Anyways, if you go and get hired at a restaurant or kitchen, any place where you're serving food and they're making a lot of money, you are owed a meal, at least a meal, period. Not like, oh, we'll give you a discount, like a 50% discount. No, I want a free meal and a 50% discount. Or I could just say no to this low paying kitchen cooking job. I can go get certified as a security guard, and then depending on where you live, like that, you'll like that, bro. You'll get a security guard job easy because they're hiring anybody. These companies, they just want insurance protection. So they'll hire the security in order to get that insurance protection, which is mandated most of the time from insurance companies, that you need security to be insured. So they will literally hire anybody off the street to be a security guard. Yeah, and that's a pretty not that great of a business to do either. Great industry to enter either because it's just low paying. But it's a lot better than working in a kitchen, sweating, working, running back and forth from customer to product, cutting the product and preparing the product, and then having to maintain and clean up after, and then having to deal with any mishaps that happen during the shift, preparing the next shift for their success, or cleaning up after the shift before, because it's like that a lot of times in the kitchen. Um, when you got a crew beforehand that'll not do what they're supposed to be doing completely, mess it up for you, then you got to clean it up, and you're not getting paid extra for it. Like there's and then you're probably dealing with a chef, right? That doesn't respect you because you didn't go to school for what you did. They don't respect you. You're new. You haven't proven yourself as a chef. They think they could talk to you however they want to talk to you, and they can. A chef can really talk to you how they want. Like I've been talked to crazy, by people that were leading the kitchen, and you have to like if you're in the kitchen, you kind of have to deal with it because you're not gonna. No one's gonna take the chef's job. Nobody in front of house is gonna come back in the kitchen and run the kitchen because they don't want to. You're working a job that nobody really wants to work, and they're not giving you any incentive to work. So like So you might as well if you're not getting a free meal from a restaurant or a kitchen that you work in, you might as well just go get a security guard job, bro. Pay for the classes, pay for the car, whatever. Half the time you could just get the classes, get the class done, right? And then apply to a security guard job, right? And they will help you in the process to get your card delivered to the mail to your house in the mail. That is how desperate they are in security. As desperate as they are in the kitchen to get line cooks, they're also desperate in security. Now, retail is a little bit different because they look for like a certain aesthetic. They look for a certain kind of people to work in retail. Um, but even then, you could still get it like a job at Old Navy or something like. But like, or a warehouse like Amazon. Amazon is a hard job. I've heard it's really hard, and they get worked a lot. They get worked to the bone. And I'm not sure if that would be much better than working in the kitchen, but my point is that it's still another alternative. You should not be working in a kitchen or a food service environment without receiving a free meal. Now, if you're working front of house or of a restaurant and you're a server, like that's actually a better job than becoming a line cook because right now I believe there's no tax on tips right now. There's no tax on overtime to a certain amount. You might as well become a server. If they tell you if the chef tells you that you can't get free food as a line cook, don't take the job. Apply as a server in the front of house. That's it. You'll make so much more money. You can be in the same environment and make more money up front. But like the guys that work up front, like I was initially saying, is like they don't deserve a free meal. I mean, sometimes they get it. Like if I'm a line cook in your restaurant and the server's there, and the server's cool, we got a good relationship, whoever, boy or girl, whatever, and they ask me for some food, I got you. They're not gonna notice. The owner's not here. The owner doesn't want to be here. He's not gonna see me give you this extra little chicken breast or whatever the hell you asking for. As long as I'm not giving you like tuna tartare or like, Kobe steak or like a salmon or something. But even a salmon you could probably finesse out of me, but like maybe some shrimp, but like I'm not giving you nothing expensive. I'll give you some chicken, I'll give you some like, little cheaper items from my line here, but my point is that the people in the front don't deserve free food, but they'll still get it sometimes if they got a good relationship with some of the line cooks or the chef. And, the guys that work in the kitchen, they should be getting free food. They should be getting free food. There should be no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like I worked at Pinstripes. Pinstripes is like a restaurant where you got like a bowling alley, and they serve a whole bunch of like really good food, and they do like uh brunch buffets every like Sunday morning. They didn't give me free food, bro. I didn't get a free meal. I stayed there for like 5 months. And then, on my very last day, they wanted me to work a 13-hour shift after like giving me like a 6.5 ranking. Like I'm not that good or whatever. I don't communicate. All these like dumb little things, right? Even though I was speaking bilingual with the cooks there, one of the only people behind the line that could speak bilingual with the cooks there, they gave me like a 6 for communication. I don't know. They graded me low for communication. Uh, which was bullshit because it's like if I'm there, if I'm there, right, and I tell you like 2 months beforehand that I'm gonna quit on this one day, and then when that one day comes, you can't find my replacement, so you ask me to work a 13-hour shift, and I still don't get a free meal, oh, you'll never see me again. I mean, it's basically why I quit because you guys weren't looking out for me, like at least on that end, and then I have to deal with the rigors of the rigors and the troubles of working with like like asshole chefs that think they're better than you. And if it comes to cooking, they might be better than you. But if I'm helping you, you better like don't talk to me crazy, bro, because I could just get up and leave out of here. But if you're giving me a free meal, that might be incentive to stay. If you're paying me good, that might be incentive to stay. Like obviously if I think if you're getting paid like a really high amount, if you're getting paid like over like 35,000 a year in a kitchen, no, 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 fuck that. If you're getting paid like over 40,000 a year in a kitchen, like as a line cook or something, pretty that's pretty good. Maybe you should just be okay with not getting a free meal. But if you're getting like anything under 40,000 a year after taxes, then you should be guaranteed a free meal. Even the chef himself will get like a sous chef or a second in command chef will get like 70,000 a year, 80,000 a year, and they're eating all day. Like the food is not always going to get sold. And I don't care how busy the restaurant. Like if the restaurant's not that busy, then your job is not that hard as a cook. If you're only getting like a few tables a night or something, and it's like a small operation, then I could understand like, all right, maybe you don't eat all that food. Wait till it at least is on the edge of expiring, then you go into it. Which I think this is what the Meijer kid did. But it depends. Not every restaurant is gonna have the same setup or the same situation going on. But I would say, for the most part, in general, if you're in a kitchen, they're not giving you a free meal, don't work there. Why? When you can get any other job, Amazon will hire you like that. Like, any security guard company will hire you like that. I recommend applying to Goodwill. Goodwill will always hire, maybe the Salvation Army, a thrift store, dollar store. Dollar store will literally hire drunks. Like security companies are hiring immigrants straight off the boat to work. You don't need to work in that greasy, hot kitchen with that asshole chef that's not feeding you. You don't. Or like I said before, become a server. You get no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. You'll make a lot of money as a server. And if it's like a social skill that you don't want to, oh, like I don't like talking to people, yada yada. Well, you better get over that. You really better get over that. Eventually in life, you got to get over that. And I understand as a line cook, I don't like dealing with a lot of people. But where I'm at, where I work now, where I cook now, I got to deal with every single person in there. So it's like I needed my social skills anyway to work in this commercial kitchen. So well, technically, it's like a commercial kitchen. It's not a restaurant kitchen. So even the best line cook jobs that you can find, you still need some social skills because the better line cook jobs, you're gonna be working in better environments, like more prestigious environments with more prestigious people, uh, where you, where you gotta have a more professional demeanor. You gotta show off a more professional version of yourself. So that that's even at the top of being a line cook, or or being a deli worker like this kid. So yeah, this is wrong. This has really been bothering my soul, and I feel like I had to get this message out to anybody looking for a job or anyone that's thinking about becoming a line cook or working in the food service industry, working with anything and handling food or anything like that. Don't do it unless you're getting a meal. Are they gonna get you like Meijer does? You'll be taking food on the low, thinking that it's cool. You're about to throw it out anyway. Then all of a sudden you get arrested. I hope Meijer goes completely under, yo. I know that's too much of a thing to ask for, but I really, 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 really want to see Meijer fall badly because of what they did to this dude. Because I was so absolutely wrong. And yeah, it's just not fair. And it has nothing to do with the kid being white, black, Hispanic, Indian, whatever the hell, right? Nothing, nothing of that nature matters. The only thing that matters is what they did to him and what you need to do to prevent that from happening to you. And if you take my advice here, that won't happen to you. You'll never be in a position where you'll get fired for eating food. Because if you make the standard, you set the standard that you need to feed me for free, and and you need to like go through the proper process or whatever. You make that the standard. You make it the standard that you're not going to be like just used and abused. You make that standard as a person yourself. It could then grow into like a groupthink mentality and a societal kind of mentality where all these restaurants already go under. You know what I mean? Restaurants don't really a lot of them go out of business really quick. Only the best ones really the best high quality top ones stay in business for more than 5 years. So I understand on that end, as an owner, you got to do that, but like you got to, protect your profits or whatever. But like I don't care. We're not owners. I'm not talking to the owners. The owners got to figure it out. The owners got money. I'm not talking to them. They could figure it out. They can get they if they don't want nobody eating the food, get your sons and daughters to work in that kitchen. Oh, that's not gonna happen. Why don't you get your nephews and nieces to work in that kitchen without feeding them? Why don't you do that? Oh, that's not gonna happen, right? Oh no, they want you to do that. No, they want you to get in that kitchen on an empty stomach. Feed all these people, make all this profit for them. They want you to see all this food and not even think about eating some. We're not doing that. No. I'd like to see any restaurant or any food service place that's not feeding their cooks or the people preparing their food for free. If they're not feeding them for free, at least one meal a day, I want to see every single one of them go under. So hopefully y'all take this advice as somebody that's been through those kind of situations, that's been in cooks, been in a lot of cook positions, a lot of kitchens and restaurants. Uh, this channel, I'm gonna be like, giving y'all a lot more personal stories. So I'll tell more stories about my times in the kitchens and my life as a line cook, even my life as a security guard and all the things I've been through. It's kind of what the channel's for, to give my personal experience on life, and and all that good stuff. But yeah, I'd like to make this like a societal standard. I'd like to make this a societal standard, and I'll give y'all more stories about how kitchens are, how they're ran, how line cooks live, how security guards live. I guess this is just the average, I want to give y'all the average experience of what like a white Hispanic American lives. and that'll be part of it. Those discussions will be part of it. But my message right now is one more time: don't work in any kitchen or food service place where you're handling, touching, preparing food without being fed a free meal. And if we all do that, then the standard will come back again that you gotta feed us. We don't care how much the food cost is. That's your problem. That's your problem. You want me to work in this kitchen without feeding me? You better be paying me at least 40K a year. But I can't force everybody to think that way, but I can at least plant that seed. This is like demands right now. This is like Trump demanding like Israel to stop doing what they're doing, or Iran to stop bombing, or Ukraine and Russia to stop bombing, or whatever. This is my declaration to these kitchens and restaurants and these food service places. You better feed your cooks for free or pay them over 40K a year after taxes. And if not, we're not working in your kitchens. We're not doing it. I'll end it right there. I'm not going to really edit this video too much. I just kind of want to just rant. I'm kind of using this as an outlet to rant and to help people and to show the experience of a white Hispanic American. So, yeah, that's where I'm gonna end it. My name is Dolo Ren, and this channel is The Ghost of Arthur. I don't really know how to end it. I guess I'm gonna just stop the recording. But either way, please take what I said into consideration. Respect yourself. Get a good job. Don't put yourself in a compromising position, no matter what you do. So yeah, I'm out. I'll catch y'all.